back in the arms of Phil Cracken. A long hand pass to Spargo. Spargo from 25 metres out has a ping at the goals, but he's off target and through 4-1 behind.
Well, there's Phil Cracker. One of the problems of the Footscray camp, undoubtedly, Steve Wallace. Incidentally, notice Ackley is standing on Foster, which looks a David and Goliath job. It's kicked out very wide this time. In front was Purser, punched away by Mossop, picked up by James Cracker. Jimmy Cracker across, clever one to Smith. And Smith gets yet another possession. Steadies and drives to Phil Cracker with a perfect pass. Phil Cracker a bit far out to score. On to Ackley. Ackley's in trouble. A left foot grubber is no good. Larkin misses the run of the ball and fumbles. Back it comes to Larkin. Very quick out wide it goes. High down towards that full forward zone. And a good punch down there. In front there's an opportunity, but lost at the last moment, and it bounces against the behind post. It'll be thrown in.
Throw-in to take place in that forward pocket for North Melbourne, who have been doing all the attacking. Hepburn over the top, a beautiful punch down to Love. Love's been pushed as he kicks the ball, and it just scrambles in for 1 behind. So 2 points to North Melbourne. Footscray yet to score. We've played 2 minutes into this opening quarter, and the Bulldogs fighting for a place in the final 5, and North Melbourne still with a chance to take 3rd spot. Long kick out to Wallace, punched away by Spargo. McGuinness best on the ground last week. His kick's been smothered, taken by Wallace. A long hand pass, but chipped in beautifully by Larkin. The handball, that's the go for North Melbourne today, out to Ross Smith. The kick's a poor one. It kicked into big ruckman Mossop, and this enables McLean to come away with the ball for the first time. Footscray go forward over the centre line, but it's David Ackley once more takes the mark on the half-back flank.
It's his 3rd possession. Kicks it long to centre half forward. Punched away from German. Jim Cracker in trouble. Hand passes to brother Phil. Phil kicks it high in the air and gains no distance. Oh, a gallant one taken in front of the pack, and a very clever mark by Love. And Love is about 55 to 60 metres from goal as he comes in to shoot for goal. This is his 2nd kick. Very slippery, elusive customer. Kick drops short. In Jim Cracker, shoots for goal left foot, hooks it across, and that was absolutely brilliant.
Well, that's typical Jim Cracker. We saw Jimmy Cracker playing in the forward pocket against the West Coast Eagles, and what a damaging player he was. And today is also lined up in that forward pocket, and Baxter has the job, Darren Baxter, of picking him up. So certainly he's got a big job today to play on the Cracker. That's brother Jim, and Phil is on the ball. Bounce of the ball in the centre, and North Melbourne with all the play in the opening minutes of this quarter as Mossop wins the tap out. Ross Smith quickly out of the centre, and North Melbourne into attack straight away. The bounce of the ball, it's going to favour McCann. He's running into the open goal. He can't get his boot to it. Good defensive play by Ford as we see the ball ricochet off the point post, and once more a throw-in will take place in that forward pocket for North Melbourne.
Well, the Shinboners doing all the attacking. And Steve McCann in front again. Purser taps it across. Really nobody could break away there as Hepburn was fighting for it, and there'll be another bounce from the umpire right in front of North Melbourne's goal. Ian Robertson in possession.
And it's strange so far that Footscray really haven't had the ball over their half-forward line. North Melbourne winning the ball out of the centre. Purser with the tap out. Going in hard was German, taken there by Eppelston, and heads for the boundary line. And once more, it's bottled up in the forward pocket for North Melbourne, who are kicking down towards the city end. Kennedy won the toss and elected to kick towards the punt road end for Footscray. Tap out by Purser, chance for Sean Smith. In came Ford. Well shepherded there as Baxter takes the ball, and one long hand pass back to Ford, hugging the boundary line, looking for Wallace. Spargo out there, his opponent for the day. The ball's going to bounce for Spargo. He slips over. Well caught by Wallace. Holding the ball, says umpire Robinson. And Wallace with that free kick. One of the high possession getters for Footscray right throughout the year. He's played over 100 consecutive games, and this is possession number 2. As he kicks up towards Foster, who's lined up at centre half forward. Can't take control as Ackley allows the ball to go over the line, but a free kick, says umpire Shores. And David Ackley, who's been in the thick of things already in this opening quarter, and he's had 5 kicks.
And Shane Williams gave that free kick away. Downfield it goes. Purser's the leaper, punched away at the last moment. Big chance for Cordy. got time to centre it towards centre-half back and just had time towards centre-half forward to Foster. And Foster's with the ball. Foster then left foots it down to an open territory. Steve McPherson, running with the flight of the ball, takes an excellent mark.
I'm always surprised, Doug, when Steve McPherson isn't in the Footscray side, because he always looks like he's a very, very dangerous player. He's a very physical player, and I must see him on the good days.
Oh, you're right, Kev. He's one who's capable of kicking 5 goals from the half-forward flank, which not many can do. And he's very tough, very fiery, and that looks good, Stephen. That's proof positive. An excellent goal, a fine mark, and an excellent kick for goal from a very difficult angle, and Footscray's first major.
And good play by Peter Foster, that raking left foot, and what a success story he's been since shifting from Fitzroy across to Footscray. And this year had the ultimate selection, being picked to play for Victoria. Usually at centre-half back, a very tough player, but has played a very major role this year, playing on the forward line, playing centre-half forward, and Hickey is his opponent, giving away a lot of inches to Peter Foster. As we see Purser, but Mossop once again wins the tap. Sharp there by Royal, loses control. Out to Wallace. A long hand pass over his head, and the ever-alert Royal picks up, drives down towards centre-half forward again. Rance out on the flank. Couldn't take the mark, and once more a throw will take place. Rance named as an interchange player, but is lined up on that half-forward line.
And he's put Footscray into attack, and now will contest with Mossop. Mossop behind had too much height. Law gets spoiled. Out wide to Larkin and McLean. McLean is tackled by Larkin, and the ball is bustled over the line out of bounds.
Throw in on the half-forward flank for Footscray. 1 goal, 2 North Melbourne, 8 lead the Bulldogs. 1 goal, 6. As we see Phil Cracker get bowled over, and a free kick goes to the North Melbourne champion small man on the half-back flank. North Melbourne kicking down towards the city end as Cracker transfers play to Smith, who kicks it out wide. A chance for Fairley. He's got open territory. The ball bounces on centre wing. Fairley recovers well. Looking for Sean Smith. Can't take the mark. Ford there. Backs up. Oh, good protection there by Hawkins as the ball is driven back towards the boundary line. A poor kick. Put McPherson under tremendous pressure. And once more over the line, and yet another throw-in.
John Kennedy showing tremendous faith in Chandler. His job is to look after Douglas Hawkins, the darling of Footscray. Hepburn comes in. Purser wins it beautifully to Royal. He breaks a tackle from Hepburn. Steadies and sends it down to centre-half forward. Beasley above Mossop. Behind the Fairley. Fairley doing well. Left footed to McLean and Larkin. Awkward bounce gives Cordy a difficult one. And it's nicely picked up by Larkin. Larkin out to centre wing, and Phil Cracker once again. Out it goes to Steele. Steele looks for Steve McCann. McCann almost took a good one. Out from Kennedy. Kennedy to McLean. McLean hand passes cleverly out to Brian Cordy. Cordy wants to give it across towards centre wing and does it. And a short one comes in. And Footscray swing into attack through Foster. And Steve McPherson again beats past Moore and kicks his second goal.
Well, once again, that's that raking left foot kick of Peter Foster that's brought up Steve McPherson's second goal. And the Footscray forward line is very open because Beasley is coming a long way down from full forward contesting. And it seems as if there's a bit of a plan there to kick the ball long to the square, and McPherson will double back. And that's happened on 2 occasions now, and both times he has kicked goals. Donald McDonald warming up on the boundary line for North Melbourne, and Footscray, after not having much of the action in the opening 5 minutes, now hit the front. 2 goals straight, 12, lead North Melbourne 1-2-8. And the Bulldogs now lifted as Hawkins with the ball, has it smothered. Picked up by Love also, plenty of pressures. Linton Fitzpatrick picks up, kicks back to the half-forward line, and the mark's being taken by Tony McGuinness. Must have a great chance for the Brownlow medal this year. Won the Magarey medal in 1982 in South Australia as an 18-year-old, as he finds Brian Royal. 40 metres out on about a 50-degree angle, kicking from the members' side down towards the punt road end. Bulldogs vice-captain. Footscray have really lifted their play in this quarter as Royal moves in, just off target and through for their first behind of the match. Takes the Bulldogs to 2-1-13. to North Melbourne 1-8. We've played nearly 11 minutes into this opening quarter.
Fairley looks to see where his target might be. Mossop is the target. Purse is with him all the way. Punched away from him. Brilliant play, Hawkins. Hawkins sends a long one, and Hawkins sends a beauty straight through the centre. And there were the classical skills of Doug Hawkins, who I mentioned earlier, is Footscray's favourite son. What a wonderful goal that one was.
Well, he has got great skills. And you mentioned before, Doug, a big job today for young Chandler, who is Keith Gregg's brother-in-law. And he had a great debut against the West Coast Eagles playing on Chris Mainwaring. But to play on someone like Doug Hawkins is certainly, I would think, a bigger job than playing on Mainwaring at this particular stage. Footscray starting to take the game right up to North Melbourne now as Larkin's caught. Bulldogs going in hard, and Royals playing a great opening first quarter, drives long, looking for Beasley out in front, and the Pieman's taken the mark. Looking good, Footscray, Doug.
They are looking good, Kev. I was just going to say, so often we hear about Simon Beasley's pace, extraordinary pace, which is not picked by many, and there was a clear indication of it. And in he comes, ball perpendicular to the ground, and that unusual kicking action of Simon. But my word, he's notched a few in his day, and that was a wonderful goal, a fine lead. That's his first kick, and he did it well. No, we just missed it.
Well, I thought it was a goal from here because the Footscray players were clapping.
We're in an awkward position, of course, not behind the flight of the ball, but it was not to be. And here's Fairley with the ball. Fairley kicks it out wide.
And he's looking for Mossop, but Larkin also playing well in this quarter, being tagged by McLean. As we see North Melbourne up towards Hepburn. Great game against Eagles with 4 goals, only 18 years of age. As we see German comes in, wins the bounce nicely, kicks the ball up towards Sean Smith. But a free kick has been paid upfield, and it will go to Smith, or he has to relay the ball back. Yes, a relay back, and it goes to Peter German, who's kicking virtually from that 50-metre line. No, the umpire says I don't want him to take it either. I wanted to go back to Sean Smith, and Smith, recruited from Canberra, usually a very high flyer. Spring-heeled Jack as he moves in. Smith, the drop punt. It's in the square, one for the high flyers. Up goes Hepburn. Could have been paid, not paid, says umpire Saws. As Footscray through Kennedy. Looked like he was out to me, picked up by Love, and a quick kick towards goals across the face. Up goes Smith from behind and thumps the ball over the line and out of bounds. A throw-in to take place. The forward pocket on the outer side of the ground for North Melbourne, kicking down towards the city end, and they trail 8-20. 12 points as we see Smith with the ball. Beautiful smother by Fitzpatrick as Footscray applies the pressure, picked up. Good play also as we see Aythorpe gets the ball out to Eccleston. Cross to Love. Love's kick, will it bounce? But Kennedy. And a free kick has been paid. And it's going to Jason Love.
Against Eccleston, standing on the mark. Talking to umpire Saws and indicating where I made that mark is where I should be. I could go back behind that and run at him. And Jason Love, the slippery customer, has had his coming in for his 5th kick. Very difficult angle. Only about 30 to 35 metres out. Oh, does it well. Does it well. Centred it. And Spargo coming downfield takes an excellent mark. And that was cool, casual, clever football. And Spargo, who's kicked some excellent goals for his team this season, has got the chance to really capitalise on North Melbourne's fact that they've had most of the play, but they trail on the scoreboard. They haven't maximised their opportunities. It's 3-2 to 1-2. It's now 3-2 to 2-2, and that's more as the scoreboard should be, as an indication of general play. Good goal by Spargo, but very well played by Love.
And Paul Spargo could have played with Footscray, I would imagine, Doug, under the father and son rule.
His father played 80 games, Kev, so he certainly could have been a very brilliant player was his father, who coached Albury, where young Paul came from.
So that's another son who slipped through the net. Alan Edwards also at one stage finally finished up with Footscray, but played with Richmond and Collingwood before playing with the club of his father. Out of the centre, picked up by Smith, once more onto that left boot, up to that half-forward line. German out in front of Aythorpe, but the ball bounces kindly, but he's been caught. Good tackle by Peter German. The free kick to the North centre man. 50 metres out. Usually a very, very big kick. But he goes short this time. And it's come off. Either the mark or in the back will be paid. And it's Jason Love, who's having a great opening quarter. 6 kicks to the former Essendon and Port Melbourne star. I suppose made famous because he kicked 6 goals against the Sydney Swans, 4 in the last quarter to give North Melbourne victory early in the season. The Sydney Cricket Ground as Love moves in. The kick's a shot right off the side of the boot. Well taken by Kennedy and the Bulldogs skipper. Away from defence, kicks long down towards the centre wing position on the outer side of the ground. Waiting down's Donald McDonald. Quick hands out to Mossop. Mossop to Larkin. Here's the running game of North Melbourne to Spargo. Back to Law. Law's under pressure to Ross Smith. Smith has to kick hurriedly, but waiting back. It's all Footscray, and Andrew Purser takes the mark.
And Purser very nicely out to Cordy. Cordy stays in short to McLean is clever. They get to the 50-metre mark, and Magic McLean is off. Sends it back to the centre of the ground. In front, a fine leap there and an excellent mark by D. McDonald. Didn't have a great deal to beat in height, but he judged it perfectly. McDonald in the centre of the ground, sends it very long. Purser's the only man there and takes the mark at centre half back.
Andrew Purser drops back into that gap very, very well. Goes short, finds Eccleston. He's keen to play on with the hand pass. It's a floater. Baxter's got a kick under pressure, and he does just that and kicks the ball over the line out of bounds on the full. Penalty free goes to Spargo. The last goal for North Melbourne. Up to the pack. Fitzpatrick punches the ball away. McLean waiting down. Magic McLean kicks the ball back to that half-forward line. Foster, desperate dive. North Melbourne. Mossop, kick's been smothered. Royal, good play. Hands and knees, but Mossop wins it again, back to Smith. He's also been dispossessed. Off the ground to Phil Cracker. And Footscray really applying the pressure to North Melbourne. They still have a chance to win one of the top 3 spots. And the Bulldogs, of course, this could be their last chance to make the finals this year. 2 points out, trailing Geelong.
Sean Smith, fine kick by Law. Smith down towards the half-forward flank, and the mark is taken by the dangerous Larkin. Larkin, as always, picks up bundles of possessions. He's had 6 possessions. This is his first kick. He's had 1 kick. This is his second. Shoots from about 45 metres out and does it well. Full of football skills. Makes few mistakes and would be very much in contention for best and fairest for this club and a chance for the big Brownlow.
Ricky Moldhouse would be disappointed, Doug, that the last couple of goals for North Melbourne have been the results of short kicks and the Footscray defenders not picking up their opponents quickly enough and allowing that short kick. And North Melbourne very adept at just finding a man in short. Mossop out of the ruck, a big thump. Fitzpatrick held, not paid the free kick taken by Hawkins. It's a high kick. Doesn't reach outside the centre square, and Royal in front takes a strong mark. 5 kicks to Brian Royal, and he decides to kick long, but it's a poor one, dropping short and waiting down in front is Ackley. He's had a great opening quarter. His hand pass to Phil Cracker. And P. Cracker now onto that ungainly left foot, kicks out wide. Athorn's leads the race for the ball, but German in the back. Good play by German, put himself in for the ball, plays on quickly, he's looking for Hepburn. Backing back is Fitzpatrick, has the ball knocked out of his arms by his teammate in forward. And once more, boundary throw-in on that half-forward flank for North Melbourne. 3 goals to North Melbourne 20, Bulldogs 3-2-20. Scores level at the 20-minute mark of the opening quarter.
Hepburn having a lot of trouble getting into the game after a magnificent game last week. Purser wins it once again. Cleverly down to Baxter. Baxter then drives downfield, over the top and punched out by Foster, who's looking good. Oh, could have been Rancis. Nice pick up McGuinness. McGuinness out to centre wing to Baxter. Baxter short is clever. Hand pass is smothered. Here's the diving. Picked up by Royal again. And a wonderful tackle by McDonald. And Royal's pretty lucky not to be penalised as he hand passes over the line, but he held it a long time.
Yes, a good tackle by Donald McDonald. Started the game on the interchange bench as Purser taps the ball to the front of the pack. McDonald once more with strength out to Steele. Can't take control. The ball just dribbles over the line. Yet another boundary throw-in. Scores a level at the 21-minute mark of the opening quarter. 20 points apiece. As we see Phil Cracker. Quick kick. Back to German. Punched away there by Athorn. Taken by Ford out of that last line of defence. Kicks out towards centre wing. Looking for Royal. Over the top is Smith. Punches the ball away. But over the top, said umpire Ian Robinson. And too high. Free kick to Royal, who's had a great opening first quarter. 6 kicks to Brian Royal. As he looks for Rance. Can't take it one-handed. John Law, oh, well tackled by Rance. In comes McPherson. Rance on hands and knees. Pushed in the back. Play on, says umpire Ian Robinson. And a ball up will take place.
This Rance was pushed on top of the ball, or fell on top of the ball accidentally. So there was no chance of a free kick being given for diving on top intentionally and therefore holding the ball. Mossop doing well on the ball. Here comes Tony McGuinness again. Sends up, beautiful kick to Beasley, and it's punched away very, very cleverly by Fairley. That was perfectly delivered, and Beasley had every chance. It was only the great competitive play of Fairley that frustrated that goal.
North Melbourne not wasting any time from the kick out. A very short kick out by Phil Cracker to McDonald. Back to Phil Cracker. Fiddling around by North Melbourne, and they could lose it here as Shane Williams comes in, has a bounce, runs along the boundary line, and from 25 metres out, his kick's off target and through for one behind. Well, very dangerous play by North Melbourne. Very indirect, Doug.
Yes, and Ackley, who's had a wonderful quarter, yet another indiscretion. He really missed a mark he should have taken, and that's the second time he's done it. I'm a great admirer of David. Why? His football's been so good. Mossop in front of Purser, takes a mark, and at this stage, he's slightly in front of Purser. Out to Smith it goes. Smith downfield. Well played, Love, as he slipped in front. Therefore gave the chance to Spargo. Spargo out for Sean Smith. He's a good leaper. In front the mark. Could have almost been played that time. Baxter fights for it. There's an opportunity now for a nice pick-up by German. German back to Steve McCann. McCann is punched away by Kennedy. Well played. Picked up and driven for goal. And it's a great kick. It's Chandler. Doug Hawkins got a beauty. And Chandler, his opponent, in only his second game, puts a good one through. So that'll be a real confidence booster for him. North Melbourne 4-2 to Footscray 3-4.
Well, last week he did have a great debut for North Melbourne against the Eagles, and they must think very highly of him because he played on main wearing that day, and today John Kennedy has elected that he pick up Dougie Hawkins. So 1 goal apiece to Hawkins and also Chandler opposed on the wing, as we see Mossop once more with that big thump out of the centre. He's dominating the ruck, and the free kick goes to Steele. Steele's drop punt. Backing back is Baxter, couldn't take the mark. Kennedy tried to claim it. Dispossessed. Athorn can't get the ball. He's got the fumbles. Picked up by German, trying to crash his way through. Good tackle by Athorn, but now Baxter relieves with a long kick. It's a high one out to Wallace. Can't take the mark. In that practice wicket area on the outer side of the ground, but Wallace finally wins control. Kicks the ball over the line on the full. And after a very solid passage of play, Chandler will take the penalty kick.
Too far out to score, good 75 metres. Centres it downfield, Eccleston in front. Oh, good strong football by Royal, who plays so close to the pack and wonderfully courageous. Always a chance of a free kick. This is his 7th possession. Mighty first quarter. Out wide he goes, looking for McDonald. Well, not looking for him, McDonald was there. And the kick off the ground by McGuinness is very clever. Nice pick up by Passmore. Cracker gets it out to McDonald. McDonald gets an awkward bounce. Rance takes it. Rance looks for McLean. McLean clever. Tony McGuinness shoots for goal and just misses. Favoured his left foot and would have got that most times, but missed the opportunity.
It was a bad miss by McGuinness because he had plenty of time to steady Phil Cracker. He had got away from Phil Cracker, but felt he was under pressure when he wasn't. As we see the ball this time, it's a long kick in and a great mark by Peter Foster. Foster, 3 marks in the opening quarter. It's a beautiful kick into the square. It's going to be a great kick. He's goal. A magnificent goal by Peter Foster from 50 metres out, and he's put it right through the centre. And the Bulldogs, a minute and a time on it, hit the front in this opening quarter, 4-5-29 to North Melbourne, 4-2-26.
Well, Peter Foster will be thrilled with that one. His goal kicking this year, in a splendid season that he's had, has not been very accurate. He's kicked 9-16, and that one made his 10th. But he's top of Footscray in marks taken for the season, and that was a wonderful performance. Mossop and Purser again. Purser gets this one down, but it goes straight down, unbooted down by Smith, who's doing well on that centre exchange. Chance for Sean Smith. His kick is smothered, bounces downfield, and Bax has got the opportunity, picks it up and runs through with it. And that was good defensive football.
Ford to bring the ball back into play, favours the outer side of the ground, looking for Purser. Up in front there is Chandler. And the free kick goes to the young wingman. Young Jeff Chandler. Saw him in that movie Broken Arrow many years ago. As we see the punch away by Kennedy. Waiting down with the crumb getters, it's German. He's off target, but still claims the mark, but not through, says the goal umpire. And through for one behind. So bad miss by Peter German.
Yeah, I was going to say, Kev, that's not a true Peter German kick, as you emphasised throughout the season. When it comes to shooting for goal, he's normally very accurate, but not a good one. Ford, who's kicked out, and he kicks out very long and very well. Incidentally, Fitzpatrick has got the big job of taking on Hepburn. He's done it well to date. Kicks out wide. Oh, lovely roving by Royal again. Rates downfield and kicks towards centre wing position. John Law in possession in front of Branch, but the ball is out of bounds.
Showing on centre wing. Rance to do the ruck work, and Footscray. McCann over the top. Started at full forward. Mossop now has gone down for a rest, as we see Steele thumps the ball along the ground. There's a chance for Linton Fitzpatrick. Free kick goes to Cordy in the back as Cordy drives down towards centre half forward. And Foster up, got his fingers to it, couldn't hold it. Picked up by Larkin. It's a quick kick out towards the centre wing. And here's the one for the speedsters. And it's McGuinness leading in the race for the ball. Picks up, comes back onto the left boot. Good tackle by Larkin. Forces the ball over the line. As we see, McLean and Ackley can't take control. And are thrown once more, this time on the member side flank. And at the 28.5-minute mark, North Melbourne 4-4-28. Trail Footscray 4-5-29.
That's still better tackles than that one. McCann gets it down to Steele. Hepburn loses his mouth guard as he picks it in and kicks it beautifully, and the mark is taken by Jim Cracker. Jim Cracker then kicks it across, and guess who? Brother Phil takes the mark. He'll play it to an open goal. There's only one there. Mossop shepherds beautifully, and it goes through for Mojo. Perfect team football between the magical Crackers and then some fine football by John Mossop, who shepherds it through and through it went.
It certainly is amazing, Doug, just how many times they can find each other. We call it radar, and there we see Phil heading back to the back pocket. He's playing as a ruck rover on Tony McGuinness, changing on and off the ball with the Footscray star.
Wonderful first quarter, Kev. The lead has changed 5 times.
Well, we're in for an exciting game. Both sides, there's a lot at stake as we see McPherson. Quick kick out of the centre was short, taken by Larkin up towards the half-forward line, and Steele leads in the race for the ball. Cordy's hot on his hammer. Steele trying to keep the ball into play, picked up by Love. Kept the ball in. Smith with a quick hand pass to no one in particular. Oh, popped a high one there. Footscray, it was Brian Cordy, but the umpire didn't play it, and Cordy just indicating to umpire Robinson that he did take one high.
It was my friend Ross Smith, who's really had some big ones out this year. And that was another one. Didn't hurt much, that one. Chance for Appleston. Very clever out to Cordy. Cordy down to centre wing position. Peter Foster gets an unlucky bounce. McDonald with the ball has looked good. Cleverly to Ackley. Ackley across. It's perfectly located to Smith. And Smith has had a good first term. Has had a good season. Decides he'll kick it long. 10th possession. John Mossop in front position, punched away from him. Awkward bounce, thumped over the back, and at quarter time the siren goes. And a wonderful first term it was. The lead changed hands 5 times, and North Melbourne are leading 5 goals 4, 34 to Footscray's 4-5, 29.